The year was 814. An old man lay on his deathbed. In a week or so, he would be dead. The man had spent his life carving out an empire stretching from France to the Pannonian Basin. The events spun into motion after his death would change Europe forever. This man's name was Carolus Magnus, Charlemagne. It is not entirely known exactly when or where Charlemagne was born. Einhard, a major writer for his time and creator of one of the best sources on Charlemagne, Vita Carli-Magni, states that he was born around 742. Other sources state that he was born sometime between 747 and 748, but this goes against Einhard's statement that he was 72 at the time of his death. His birthplace is not quite as definitive. Most popular places seem to be Aachen or Liège, but others range from Quercy to Gauting, among others. In order to fully explain how Charlemagne rose to power, we need to go back to his grandfather, Charles Martel. He is famous for his decisive defeat of the Umayyads at the Battle of Tours. While he never officially was king, he was the mayor of the palace. In this period of Frankish history, there were kings, but almost all were effective puppets to the mayors, who held the real power. In some cases, the mayorship acted as though it was hereditary, as upon Charles Martel's death, the title passed to his two sons, Pepin, the Short, and Carloman, the Wise. Only 6 years into his mayorship, Carloman gave up his post to become a monk at Monte Cassino, leaving Pepin as sole mayor. The title of mayor of the palace was dissolved in 750, as Pepin became king. Pepin would rule until his death, 768. Unlike in other monarchies, where the firstborn inherited the throne, in Francia, if there were multiple sons, the kingdom was to be divided between them. As such, the Frankish kingdom was divided between Pepin's sons, Carloman and Charlemagne. At the same time, the kingdom of Aquitaine, which had long been a nuisance for the Frankish kings ever since it gained independence in the early 7th century, was brought back under Frankish control. The division of the kingdom between Charlemagne and Carloman would be short-lived, as the latter died in 771. With Charlemagne now sole ruler, he now begins to set his sights on transforming Francia into an empire. Charlemagne's first target was the Lombard kingdom. A conflict had begun to brew between the Lombards and the Pope. Charlemagne, wanting to solidify good relations with the Pope, invaded the Lombard kingdom and conquered it in 774. Later on, he tried to take the Duchy of Benevento to the south, but was only able to briefly subjugate it. He next turned his attention to the pagan Duchy of Saxony, not only to conquer it, but to Christianize the region. The Saxons would largely be conquered by 785, but they would continue to rebel until around 804. Speaking of religious conquest, around the same time, he began campaigns to push back the Umayyads of Cordoba, creating the Marca Hispanica, or Spanish March. The Britons to the west were also subjugated. Charlemagne's conquests in the east did not stop at Saxony. The Slavic state of Carantania was conquered, and the Duchy of Bavaria was fully integrated. To the east of these territories, several marches were established, including Croatia, Bavaria, and Moravia, among others. However, the pinnacle of Charlemagne's achievements would come at the advent of the 9th century. After Charlemagne settled conflicts between Pope Leo III and his enemies, on Christmas Day of 800, Leo crowned Charlemagne king of the Romans and Holy Roman Emperor, effectively calling Francia the next Roman Empire. We're still here. Just ignore them. However, not everything was rosy in the Frankish Empire. After Charlemagne conquered the Saxons, the Danes to the north were not too happy about their new neighbors. Thus they began raids along the English Channel coastline of Francia, which devastated the region's infrastructure. The raids only stopped once a treaty was signed in 811. Charlemagne's rule came to an end on January 28, 814, upon his death. He was succeeded by his son Louis, the pious. Louis would not be anywhere near as successful as his father. The empire stagnated, and civil war was near constant. He died on June 20th, 840, which plunged the empire once again into civil war. In 843, the Treaty of Verdun divided the empire between Louis's three sons, creating West, Middle, and East Francia. The middle would quickly be partitioned between the other two. West and East Francia would ultimately become France and Germany, setting the stage for many of the wars in Europe.